You know, if the apostles had had business cards, Peter's would have said something like fisherman, apostle, patron saint of speaking before thinking. Now, Peter is the disciple who makes us think, oh good, people like me were in the Bible. Take the Mount of Transfiguration. Jesus is standing there literally glowing. Moses and Elijah appear. It's one of the holiest moments in Scripture, and Peter says, Lord, I can build you 3 tents. I'm surprised Peter didn't ask him to go fishing, but instead he wants to start a construction project. Then there was a time they were in a boat, a storm came up, and they see Jesus walking on water. And Peter yells out, Master, tell me to come to you. And Jesus answers, come on. Well, Peter actually walks on water, but then he remembers he can't walk on water, and he starts to sink. But he got out of the boat. Then there was another time, the time Peter declared to Christ, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Well, he earned a gold star on that one. Angels in heaven were probably rejoicing, applauding on that. But 2 minutes later, Jesus says he's going to go to the cross, and Peter says, no way, absolutely not. Well, Jesus replied and said, get behind me, Satan. Now, 1 minute, heaven is rejoicing over the answer Peter gave Jesus. And the next minute, Jesus calls Peter the devil. Then in the Garden of Gethsemane, when the soldiers came for Jesus, Peter, he pulls out a sword, and it cuts off an ear. This guy is a fisherman. He's not a swordsman. He probably just pulled it out of the scabbard, the sword, right out of the scabbard, and said, oh, whoops, sorry about that. Well, then Jesus reached out and healed the ear, but only Peter. But here's my point. Despite all of his flaws, Jesus keeps choosing Peter, teaching him, restoring him. You know, Peter's problem wasn't rebellion. It was zeal. It was his eagerness, a heart that ran faster than his mouth and his brain. But here's the good news. This is the good news for all of us, because Jesus builds his church with people who are still learning, still growing, still stumbling forward one step at a time. He never tosses the clay aside. He keeps working it, shaping it, until his character starts to show through. And if he can take Peter, hot-headed, temperamental, perfectly imperfect Peter, and form something strong and faithful out of him, then you can trust he is still forming something beautiful in you and me. Thank you for listening. God bless. See you next time.